Okay, so this is the first day close to 50 degrees at my hives. And I am happy to report that all 10 hives have activity. It's the craziest thing to see. After this harsh winter, this is kind of when I realized that I've been an okay beekeeper, because there's activity in all the hives. Not that they're all super healthy, but I'm going to give them food today. And you can see, I don't know if you can hear them, but they're orienting to their hive. Hive number 1 is the most active, not necessarily the most active, but it's the one that's like highest up I can see. These guys have kind of struggled. I'm not going to lie, hive number 2. 3 looks good. 4 looks good. 5, a lot of activity. 6 and 7, a lot of activity. And I'll tell you what, this is my baby hive right here. This is the one that made the hive. Underneath the hive, the queen came back and didn't make it back into the hive, and I had to put her back in. This is her hive, and they are crazy active. And that box up there at the top has no, it's not a brood nest, it's an empty hive that I've just been feeding them with. And they made it. And that's what my test was last fall, is if I can get those bees to survive the winter, then I think I'm catching on as a beekeeper, because they were definitely a baby hive. So part of this video is just showing some of the beekeeping that you've got to do. That's not the most fun, which is shoveling snow. Who would have thought that to be a beekeeper, you got to shovel snow? But I'm going to shovel the snow away from the hay bales. I put the hay bales up there because here in Virginia, where I live, we get the wind coming from the northwest. We get those nor'easters that wrap around wrap around from a low pressure system that gets really, really strong winds. We get winds 50 to 60 mile an hour gusts pretty commonly. And I put the hay bales up there just really to block the wind. It doesn't do anything else, but I do also wrap the hives in tarps just to keep the wind out and give them a little bit of insulation. There's also, underneath that hive, there is a moving blanket just to separate the plastic from the wood. And then the bricks are on top just to hold it all down. The hay bales do most of the work from the wind. But I got to tell you, this winter has been brutal, because we've had the longest period of time of cold weather that I can recall living here in the last 25 years. And some of those days were 0 or below 0 real temperatures. And I just sit at the house and wonder how the bees are doing. I don't know if that's just a beekeeper thing or not, but I worry about the bees when it's like 0 degrees at night with 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. It just seems brutal, but I guess they're geared to survive it. And now you would think it's a spring day out here, even though there's 6 inches of snow on the ground still. But it's a comfortable 50 to 55 degrees, 50 degrees probably. And it's the 50 degree mark that the bees fly. That's when they can stay warm. And I worry about bees like this. You can't really see them, but these guys, they get stuck on the ice. And you can see how warm they are because they put little holes. Sometimes I can capture these guys and warm them up. They just don't know how to, if they can't fly, they die. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to save them or if they're just like getting water or what, getting minerals. If I approach some of them, sometimes they fly. So I think that they are legitimately getting like water. So I don't know. Some of them are just, it's at their lifetime to die, so maybe they come out and see the sunshine and say, you know what, I'm out of here. It's time to go. But this one I've got in my finger right now, clearly she's warming up. This is the time that they come out of their hive, they go to the bathroom, clean up the hive, clean up around them, clean up each other, and then they know it's going to get cold again, so they go back in and get ready for the more cold. Pretty soon I'll be surrounded by bees, covered in bees. It's currently noon and I've got to give these guys some food before 2. At 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, it's going to start getting cold again. And I want to have their hives covered back up before that happens. But I don't know if you can hear them, but the bees are everywhere. I did shovel in front of their hives the other day, so most of the snow is gone. But I want to shovel all the way around them today. But now I'm stuck because I got this bee on my finger. I can't move. It's like having a cat on your chest. Pretty much got to wait. Now she's just hanging out, doing nothing, like getting warm. Perfect wings. No mites on her. A winter worker bee. Cleaning her eyes and her antenna. And pretty soon she's going to be like, I've had enough, and pop out of here. Just hope she doesn't go towards my face, since she'll sting me right in the face. And here she goes. And off she goes. She's done. And the crazy thing is you can't take a bee like that that's just kind of by herself and put her at a hive entrance, because it'll be the wrong one. She'll make it 2 steps inside of a hive and then die because the other bees will kill her. Bees are kind of brutal that way. Anyway, I know this content's kind of boring, but it is beekeeping. So Honestly, I just think I need to get the tractor over here because it's hard as stone. It takes a long time to learn how to do beekeeping if you do it right. One of my mentors would say that there's beekeepers and beehavers. The beehavers will do beekeeping when it's convenient. And the beekeepers do beekeeping all the time, and they never sleep. And I can tell you that if you keep bees and you want the bees to survive, they're a lot of work. But I do think the work is worth it. It's just ice. Since I started doing beekeeping seriously, I never quite stopped thinking about the bees. Spring coming up, which is the time that they really start to build out their nests. In particular, this one right here in front of me. This is the one that I was wondering if it's going to survive the winter. This queen is strong. If they made it through this winter in such a tiny hive, their nucleus was probably half the size of a normal beehive nuke going into winter. And I honestly gave them a 40% chance of surviving. And they survived. So if they survived as a team this winter, then I can tell you when spring comes and things start to flower, they're going to go bonkers. Is this bee alive? They kind of give up. When they get cold, they can't move their wings. They spread their wings out and they kind of lay down. If I can catch them before they freeze completely, they can warm them back up and they'll fly off again. So I don't know why she decided to land right there. Once they get cold, they can't get uncold. And here's one that's gotten cold. And she's just in the wrong place. Yeah, she's still moving. She probably hates it that I'm blowing carbon dioxide in her face. She just frozen, but her wings are still together. Come on, girl, you can do it. I see your antenna moving. You're just cold. Shivering. Yep. She's still alive. Now she's starting to breathe. Yep, now her legs are moving. She's coming alive again. She was almost dead. Now she's trying to walk. Bees are amazing. She got in a place right here in the snowbank where there's no sun. And just the warmth of my gloves just warms her up enough where she can start moving around again. And now she's cleaning her antenna like nothing happened. Cleaning her wings. Cleaning her eyes. She's also mite free. Now she's looking around, looking at me like, dude. Cleaning off her thorax. Her wings look good. She's an older winter bee. You can tell she's been around. I'm really happy that these bees are all doing so good. I see bees dragging other bees out, and that's kind of interesting. I don't know if the beehive's kind of mixing. I can't tell if they're fighting or if they're just doing their job of taking older bees out and throwing them out on the ground. That happens too. But sometimes they just get mixed up. Why are you guys fighting? She's struggling. It did look like kind of a dead bee. There she goes. She just flew away. So all you got to do is warm if you can catch them. But unfortunately, there's hundreds of them around here in the snow. You got to kind of see the ones that are struggling that you can actually help. But all my friends that are beekeepers in the Oklahoma area, I see them doing all kinds of cool stuff like, hey, let's get a head start on spring. And there's not a drop of moisture anywhere around them. I don't even know how to do that, because that's not the way it works in Virginia. And I don't know how people north of here keep bees either, because The cold is just amplified up there. I have family in Ohio that keep bees. Friends in Oklahoma that keep bees. What I need to do is get the tractor over here and get the majority of the snow off the back. And the rest will melt. She kind of looks like she's alive still. Yeah, they're actually flying somewhere. Believe it or not, there'll be plants around here that will produce pollen under the snow. They start to flower. I don't see any, but they'll find it. It may have been too late for her. You gonna live, girl? Oh no, the cold sucks. Literally. On the backs of these hives, I have slots to put bottom covers in. And I need to move this hay to get at the bottom cover so I can take those out and give them a little bit more air, because in the next few days, I'm going to take all this stuff on top off. To give them more air. The bees figure out how to move air on their own. So they can keep the hive at the temperature that they want it. If it gets too hot, that's not good. Of course, if it gets too cold, it's not good either, but they seem to manage that. Yeah, so this is beekeeping. Looks a lot like snow shoveling, but it's beekeeping. Looks like she's still alive. You can't really see it from the camera, but like there's little black little brown places where the bees go poo. This is the time that they finally get out and go to the bathroom. I think some of them land on the ground to do that, and they get cold and they can't go back up. Gotta know what's going on. This one looks like she's still alive too. They will for sure appreciate the food that I give them here a little bit. Yeah, there's one of these that's alive. Don't give up. Two of them that are alive. Warm back up.